Hello everybody, my name is Nora Rami and I'm going to be your instructor this week at Supercoders, and together we're going to be making an amazing website. So let's go over what the next couple of days are going to look like. Now this is video 1 of 2 more videos, and today we're going to be talking about HTML. Now HTML is what makes the bare bones of the website. That's where we store all the text and other information. Next video we're going to talk about CSS, which is how you add the color and the fonts. And finally, on day 3, we're going to go into a more complex version of CSS where we discuss alignment and rearrangements. But before we start talking about all the things we have to do, let's learn a little bit about me. Hey, that's me! Yep, that's right. We're going to be creating a website just like this. Instead of it being about me, it's going to be about a famous person from history that broke boundaries for women in STEM. We're not just going to be learning about code, but we're also going to be learning about history. And throughout it, we're going to be able to apply our knowledge into a website that will help educate people all around you. Now, while I'm going to be giving a step-by-step guidance for creating our biography Facebook page, or MySpace if you're old like me, this website information can be used on any type of website. So feel free to experiment with it as you want. And your final product doesn't have to look anything like mine. It's all yours to create. So let's learn about some of these women that we can make our website about. Now first, we have Sally Ride. Now who's heard of Sally Ride? For those of you who have, she's the first American woman to fly into space. Not only did she break boundaries up above in space, she's also breaking boundaries down here on Earth, because after her second shuttle flight, she decided to pursue her passion of promoting education for young people in STEM. In fact, she founded Sally Ride Science, an organization dedicated to supporting students interested in STEM. Now, STEM is science, technology, engineering, and math. And these are all important things that allowed Sally Ride to even get to the moon. And so we can attribute Sally Ride for helping us to even create today's class, because she's the one promoting for young people to get involved in STEM. Next up, how many of you guys are looking at this class from a computer? I'm sure quite a few of you are. Well, you can thank the ENIAC programmers for that. They're the women behind the first electronic computer. Now this was a secret World War II project, and these women didn't actually get any credit for their work until late into the 80s. However, you guys can give them credit by focusing your website on them and doing some more research for their website on the ENIAC programmers. But if you don't want to do those two, you might have heard of Katherine Johnson if you watched the movie Hidden Figures. Katherine Johnson is an African-American space scientist and mathematician who did the math that allowed Alan Shepard, the first American, to get into space. And her math was the foundation of future space flights. Because of her, we can say we got man onto the moon. Next up, we have Edith Clark. Edith Clark was a pioneering electrical engineer in the early 1900s. So she's before all of these other past people we've seen. And she actually was able to perform difficult mathematical equations before we even had computers and calculators. And so she was called a computer because of the math that she was able to do. However, because she was a woman, she struggled to find jobs until she became the first professionally employed female electrical engineer in the United States in 1922. Through her work, she paved the way for women in STEM and was inducted into the National Inventors Hall of Fame in 2015. So way past when she first began her work. Now, you don't have to do any of these 4 women. In fact, you can research anybody you want. These are just some ideas to get you started. Now, for your website, let's talk about what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be doing HTML. Now, HTML is the bare bones of your website. So let's look at my website that we have over here. So this website right here, all of the text we see is created through HTML. And now HTML has different ways that we can create the text. For example, we have big text over here, medium-sized text over here, and smaller sized text over here. As well as these images and these boxes, we can all attribute to being caused by HTML. Now, HTML has different tags, and that's how we get the different types of fonts. Now, first off, we have paragraph, and that's just your basic paragraph text. Then we have header 1 through 6. And I just included some, header 1, header 2, header 3, and header 4. And those are all different types of headers. So we saw how we had big text and medium text. Those are because I used different header tags here. Then we have div, and that groups things together. Then we have a, which is a link, and img. So these tags are the way that we create our code. So let's start writing some code off the get-go. So today we're going to be using Glitch to be writing our code. So if everyone goes to glitch.com, they're going to go ahead and see this amazing, really cool website. You're going to go press sign up. Now you can sign up by either using a Google email that your parents might have, Facebook if you have that, or if you don't have any of those accounts, you can put in your email and it'll email you a magic link. So pause the video right now to go ahead and set up your account. You already have an account? Go ahead, press sign in, and you can use whatever you have set up to sign into your account. So I'm going to go ahead and sign in. So, perfect. Here we go. So let's look at this website that I created over here. Let's wait for it to load. Okay, perfect. So right here we see index.html. And this is all the HTML code we see in my website. Now the most important things that we have are, first we have our header, and that's the text right here, Nora Rami. And that's this text right here. In fact, if we want to change it, we can change this text to super cool person. And if we change that, check this, reload it, boom, the text changes. So that is where all the text is stored. Now, whenever we're writing code, we're going to first use a tag, so whatever we want to do. Let's make a paragraph here. So we're going to use, and these tags are right next to the letter M on your keyboard. I'm going to put a P, close it, and automatically we'll see this come up. This is how you close the tag, and that's just a / before the letter in your tag. So we see it right here, and that's just how we close off the tag. So I'm going to put P. Let's put a paragraph that says, this is a paragraph. Load it. Boom. We see this is a paragraph right here. Now, like I said, CSS is we're going to figure out how to arrange it and get this text right where we want it. But now let's start our own project. So when everyone has their Glitch account, I want them to go back to their Glitch dashboard. And that is just right here. So we're going to get to our dashboard and we're going to click New Project. And we want to create a website. So we're going to go Glitch Hello Website. Now it'll give you some sort of weird random word name. So we want to change the name of our website to whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to call this my NR for my name, STEM Supercoders. Supercoders. I spelled super wrong. Let me fix it. Boom. Supercoders. So first, what we have is we're going to start off right here. So this is our HTML text. Now, if you notice, there's a lot of words in here. And that's because they've already created a website for us. But we don't want to use this website. Now, if you want to see what your website looks at any point in time, you press Show. And let's do our show right next to the code. Boom. So we see they already created a website. Now we don't want to use this website. So all we're going to do is we're going to go right here. And we're going to take it right here from this meta tags all the way to import website style sheet. So this part right here, don't delete any more. Boom. Delete that. Next, we're going to go to the body. We're going to delete everything in the body. All of it. Now remember, we still want to keep the close part. Now we're going to go to CSS and we're just going to delete everything. All of the stuff in here. Because we're going to create our own CSS for our own website. Just going to delete everything. And you can press Command A if you want to select everything at once. Delete. Boom. JSS, same thing. Delete A. Delete. So we don't need to worry about that. And we have a nice, clean website. And we see on the right side here that there's nothing here. So the first thing we want to do is we want to go ahead and create a header on our website. Now my website is going to be about Sally Ride. So if you're creating a website about Sally Ride, you can follow along with the information I have. Or actually, I'm going to create my website about Grace Hopper, because that way if you're doing Sally Ride, you can do your research on your own. So let's first put our header in. So I'm going to put in the name of my person. Boom. And it shows up right here. And next, let's make a header 2. Let's play around with what all the different headers look like. And this one's going to say header 2. See, that's a little smaller. And you can play around and see what all the different headers look like. Now, whenever you create a header, one thing you can do is you can create a class. That's where you go in and you're going to type in class equals, and let's title this one the title. Now, the point of the class isn't that it's going to show up anywhere. But later on when we do CSS, we'll see that classes make it easier to denote, oh, okay, here's what this is doing, and here's what something else is doing. And that is just helpful. Now, you don't need to do that right now, but know that on day 2, we will be going back and adding classes to all of our tags. And the way we do that is we just go inside the tag, we're going to add class equals, and then the title of the class, which is essentially the title of this, is going to be put in parentheses. So I want everyone to go back, and we're going to go back over here. And so we see all of these different types, and you guys can go ahead and write this down. Now, there's a lot of other HTML tags that exist in the universe, but those are all the ones that we'll just need for this project today. Now, today, what we're going to be doing is we're going to include 5 different pieces of information on our website. First, we're going to include a header, then we're going to include an all about me, then we're going to include 5 fun facts, legacy, which is how are they remembered and how do they affect us today. So if they invented something that affects us today, or maybe there's something that they remembered. Maybe they got a huge award, like we talked about Edith Clark. And then finally, we're going to talk about learn more. We're going to include links. So you're going to add in this information on your own, but I'm going to show you how you can go ahead and do that. So first thing first, we already have our header, and we named it with a title, Grace Hopper. So the next thing that we have to do is we're going to go back and we're going to add an all about me. So who knows who Grace Hopper is? And I'm going to do this all about me. First, I'm going to make a header 2. And we see it automatically adds that little backslash in the closing of it, so we don't have to worry about that. It's going to say all about me. Okay. Boom. We already see that pop up. Now we're going to add a paragraph. And I'm going to call this class is equal to all about me paragraph. And this just helps me keep track of everything, because when we have a lot of code, it can get messy and you can be like, I want to delete the all about me paragraph, but it might take you a while to find it. So this makes it easier and more organized. So Grace Hopper invented the first commercial use pair. And that's a little bio on Grace Hopper. And so the way that you're going to find your bios for your people that you're doing your research on is you'll just have to look them up and you can learn more about them. And make sure you ask your parents for help if you have to Google anything. So next thing we have to do is we have to add an image. That's part of the all about me section. So how do we add an image? So who remembers the tag for image? That's right, it's IMG. Now the difference for IMG is we have to add a source. So IMG source equals to, and all we're going to do here is we're going to go, we already see that there's an image just popping up, but it doesn't have anything that links to it. So we're going to go find a picture of Grace Hopper. So right here, look, this is a really cool picture of Grace Hopper, and we can see her coding right there. So we're going to copy image address. Now there's 2 ways to do this. You can open image in new tab, and you can copy the address right there, or you can right click and press copy image address. Now that's the way we do it. So I'm going to use it through copy image address. And what you're going to do is you're going to paste it. So you're going to paste that right there. And boom, the image shows up. Now, I personally think it makes it neater if I put this in quotation marks, and it just makes it neater. But it doesn't make too large of a difference. I just prefer it. And then, of course, you have to close the tag. Now, IMG, you don't need a backslash tag like you do here. It's just one big tag with the source of the image right there. How does everybody feel about that? Perfect. Okay, so now we see the image for Grace Hopper. Okay, the next thing we need to do is we're going to take another header. So I'm going to do header 2. And this one is going to be 5 fun facts. So I'm going to go back to my paragraph, and I'm going to think of 5 fun facts. But what we're going to do is, because this is all together, we're going to institute div. And who remembers what div does? Div doesn't add anything to our screen, but it helps make our code more cohesive because it connects stuff together. So I'm going to add a div, and this class is called Fun Facts Container. And all that is like, whenever you have something that's connected, like a lot of cookies, you're going to put them in the same jar. And so your div class is like your jar that you keep everything in so it stays organized. So we're going to call this class is equal to Fun Facts Container. And then we're going to close the div, and it's going to automatically close it, but we want the div to go around all of the information that we're going to add in. Perfect, right? So each paragraph creates a new line. So we want our fun facts on different lines. So the first fun fact will be Grace Hopper went to Vassar College. Now, to make sure that it goes on the next line, I'm going to create another p tag. And remember, because we're creating all these p tags, it makes it easier if we just make a div class to connect it all together. So this p tag, I'm going to say Grace Hopper discovered the first computer bug, which was actually a moth in her computer. Next, we're going to have Grace Hopper coded for the military. And at any point, you can pause to find your own information about your own person. And we're going to have let's see. Oh, Grace Hopper was originally rejected from the Army. And finally, Grace Hopper eventually became a naval officer. See? And you can look at, there's a lot of different websites that will show you about these different people. So she eventually became a rear admiral, which is one of the highest positions. So Grace Hopper invented the first commercial use computer. So we see her right there. And she's often considered the mother of programming, or modern programming. So here we go. And we see our 5 fun facts all put together. So look, we're creating text and it's going into a website. See, something like this is becoming an actual website. Who think that's pretty cool? Next, we have legacy. How are they remembered? Now, how many of you guys are coding right now? That's right. The coding language that Grace Hopper created is what we're using right now. So paragraph. So we're gonna put her legacy, and we're gonna create a paragraph that says Grace Hopper's computer allowed us to And if you can think of any other ways that Grace Hopper had a legacy, go ahead and add them on yourself. Finally, we have to add some links. So we're going to go ahead and add a header. I was going to say learn. So let's continue. So now let's add our link. So let's show this on the right side. And we're gonna add a link. So the first thing we do is we add a. Who remembers that's the tag for a link? Now the next language is href. Okay, so that's where the link is going to live. So I'm gonna use this website right here, and that's where we got some of our information and we got the picture. So I'm gonna copy that link, and I'm gonna put in equal signs and the quotation marks, and paste it right there in between the quotation. End it. And I'm going to put the title I want. So this is going to be Yale Source on Grace Hopper. And you can name these whatever you want. So the link lives right here. It's href equals, and then the text that we want the link to say is right there. And it shows up right here, and you can click on it. And, well, right in here, so yeah, let's go this. We're going to open it in a new window, and if you click on it, then it'll open up. So we're going to go back here, and we're going to show it next to the code. And boom. But you need to open it in a new window, not next to the code for it to work, the links. And that's just because of the way it works right here. So we're going to add 3 more sources. So a, href equals, here's another source I have from the National Women's History Museum. I'm going to paste that. I'm going to say National Women's History Museum. And look, it shows up right here. No, if you see right here, these links are showing up on the same line. Now, how do we help them show up on different lines? One thing we can do is we can just add an empty paragraph. Because, like I said, paragraph is what creates new lines. Now, who came up with that solution on their own? That's what coding is all about. Coding is all about troubleshooting. When you have an issue, you have to figure out, I have these certain skills. I have A, I have paragraph, I have heading, I have href, and I have div class. How can I use these to create a solution to a problem? So what problem are we solving with our website today? We're solving the problem that often women in STEM history are ignored. And we're solving this by creating a website so more people can learn about it. So look, we have an amazing website right here. It has all this information. But the next step we need to do is to make it look all pretty. And that's in our next video with CSS. All right, thank you guys, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.